Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video by me, Dune. um, Today I have a new book, which I presented to you last video. It is the Da Vinci Code. I think that there's a movie. I don't really remember, but I think I remember. I it's I can I maybe I'm confusing it with something else, with another like movie, but um like I think there's like a movie about this book or something like that. I can be completely wrong, but I think I remember seeing a movie. Like anyway, I will proceed reading like maybe the first two chapters of this book, mainly because I just looked through it, and like at least the first chapter seems to be really short, and yeah, so I'll read like the first like I'll read the first two chapters. Oh yeah. I don't think I will be able to put up a video next week because I'll be at my uncle's place over over the break, and then I'll be at Comic-Con and stuff like that, which will be super fun. Thanks for asking. And yeah, I don't really think I'll be able to put up a video. And yeah, you just have to survive a week without me. Yeah, but oh, can we just appreciate this ring my friend made for me? The non-binary colors. I love her so much. Thank you. But yeah, let's get into this book, shall we? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Fact, the Priory of Zion, the European Secret Society, founded in 1099, is a real organization. In 1975, Paris Bibliothèque Nationale discovered the parchment known as Les Dossiers Secrets, identifying numerous members of the Priory of Zion, including Sir Isaac Newton, Sandro Botticelli, I am butchering that name, Victor Hugo, and Leonardo da Vinci. The Vatican prelature, known as Opus Dei, is a deeply devout Catholic sect that has been the top of recent controversy due to reports of brainwashing, coercion, and a dangerous practice known as corporal mortification. I'm totally butchering this stuff. Opus Dei has just completed the construction for a $47 million national headquarters at the 243 Lexington Avenue in New York City. All the descriptions of Yada. One second. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry for that little break. It was something again, we're like leaving tomorrow at like 9 in the morning. Okay, I should take this up. It's shining too much in like my lamp here. Yeah, but anyway, we're like leaving tomorrow, and it was something about food for like the trip. It will be a pretty long trip down to where my uncle and his family lives. But yeah, anyway, we shall proceed. Anyway, Opus Dei has just completed construction of a $47 million national headquarters at 243 Lexington Avenue in New York City. And all descriptions of artwork, architecture, documents, and secret rituals in this novel are accurate. Thank you for the information, Dan Brown. Thank you for the information. Prologue. Louvre. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm sorry. Louvre Museum, Paris, 10:46 p.m. Renowned curator Jacques Saunier staggered through the vaulted archway of the museum grand gallery. He lunged for the nearest painting he could see, a Caravaggio. Grabbing the glittered frame, the 76-year-old man heaved the masterpiece toward himself until it tore from the wall, and Saunier collapsed backward in a heap beneath the canvas. I'm already sorry for how I'm pronouncing his name. I'm already having a stroke pronouncing it. I'm sorry. Sister, I'm sorry. They never knock, do they? Can I please just record it in peace? Anyway, where was I? As the Saunier collapsed backward in a heap beneath the canvas. As he had anticipated, a thundering iron gate fell nearby, barricading the entrance to the suit. I don't know if you pronounced it like that, but anyway, the parquet floor shook. Far off, an alarm began to ring. The curator lay a moment, gasping for breath, taking stock. I'm still alive. He crawled out from under the canvas and scanned the cavernous space for somewhere to hide. A voice spoke, chillingly close. Don't move. On his hands and knees, the curator froze, turned his head slowly. Only 15 feet away, outside the silly gate, the mountainous silhouette of his attacker stared through the iron bars. He was broad and tall, with ghost pale skin and thinning white hair. His irises were pink with dark red pupils. The albino drew a pistol from his coat and aimed the barrel through the bars, directly at the curator. You should not have run. His accent was not easy to place, Now tell me, where is it? I told you already, the creator stammered, kneeling defenseless on the floor of the gallery. I have no idea what you're talking about. You're lying. The man stared at him, perfectly immobile, except for the glint of his ghostly eyes. You and your brethren possess. No, wait. Brethren. I don't know how to pronounce that. You and your brethren possess something that is not yours. The creator felt a surge of adrenaline. How could he possibly know this? Shut up. Tonight, tonight, the rightful guardians will be restored. Tell me where it's hidden and you will live. The man leveled his gun at the creator's head. Is it a secret you will die for? Saunier could not breathe. The man tilted his head, peering down the barrel of his gun. Saunier held up his hand in defense. Wait, he said slowly. I will tell you what you need to know. The creator spoke his next words carefully. The lie he told was one he had rehearsed many times, each time praying he would never have to use it. When the creator had finished speaking, his assailant smiled smugly. Yes, this is exactly what the others told me. Saunier recoiled. The others? I found them too, the huge man taunted. All three of them. They confirmed what you have just said. It cannot be. The creator's true identity, along with the identities of the three scene shokes. I'm just gonna call them the Tlaylax because it's practically. I'm gonna call them the Tlaylax. I'm not pronouncing that. Anyway, the creator's true identity, along with the identities of his three Tlaylax, it was almost as sacred as the ancient secret they protected. Saunier had told the same lie before their own deaths. It was part of the protocol. The attacker aimed his gun again. When you are gone, I will be the only one who knows the truth. The truth. In that instant, the creator grasped the true horror of the situation. If I die, the truth will be lost forever. Instinctively, he tried to scramble for cover. The gun roared, and the creator felt a searing heat as the bullet lodged in his stomach. He fell forward, struggling against the pain. Slowly, Saunier rolled over and stepped back through the bars at his attacker. The man was now taking a dead aim at Saunier's head. Saunier closed his eyes, his thoughts a swirling tempest of fear and regret. The click of an empty chamber echoed through the corridor. The creator's eyes flew open. The man glanced down at his weapon, looking almost amused. He reached for a second clip, but then seemed to reconsider, smirking calmly at the Saunier's gut. My work here is done. The curator looked down and saw the bullet hole in his white linen shirt. It was framed by a small circle of blood, a few inches below his breastbone. My stomach. Almost cruelly, the bullet had missed his heart. As a veteran of La Guerre d'Algérie, the curator had witnessed this horribly drawn-out death before. For 15 minutes, he would survive as his stomach acid seeped into his chest cavity, slowly poisoning him from within. Pain is good, monsieur, the man said. Then he was gone. Alone now, Jacques Sanier turned his gaze again to the iron gate. He was trapped, and the doors could not be reopened for at least 20 minutes. By the time anyone got to him, he would be dead. Even so, the fear that now gripped him was a fear far greater than that of his own death. I must pass on the secret. Staggering to his feet, he pictured his 3 murdered brethren. He thought of the generations who had come before them, of the missions which they had all been entrusted. An unbroken chain of knowledge. Suddenly, now, despite of all the precautions, despite all the fail-safes, Jacques Saunier was the only remaining link, the sole guardian of one of the most powerful secrets ever kept. Shivering, he pulled himself to his feet. I must find some way. He was trapped inside the grand gallery, and there existed only one person on earth on whom he could pass the torch. Saunier gazed up at the walls of his opulent prison. A collection of the world's most famous paintings seemed to smile down on him like old friends. Winching in pain, he summoned all of his faculties and strength. The desperate task before him, he knew, would require every remaining second of his life. Yes, I think this is the movie. I think this is the book. I think this is the book. Anyway, you have to excuse my mess room today. I'm sorry for that also. Hold up. It's a little better. I'll let's continue. Chapter 1. Robert Langdon awoke slowly. A telephone was ringing in the darkness. A tinny, unfamiliar ring. He fumbled for the bedside lamp and turned it on. Squinting at his surroundings, he saw a plush Renaissance bedroom with Louis the 14th furniture, hand frescoed walls, and a colossal mahogany four-poster bed. Where the hell am I? The jacquard bathrobe hanging on his bedpost bore the monogram Hotel Ritz Paris. Slowly the fog began to lift. Langdon picked up the receiver. Hello? Monsieur Langdon? A man's voice said. I hope I have not awoken you. Dazed, Langdon looked at the bedside clock. It was 12:32 a.m. He had been sleeping only an hour, but he felt like the dead. This is the concierge, monsieur. I apologize for this intrusion, but you have a visitor. He insisted it's urgent. Langdon still felt fuzzy. A visitor? His eyes focused now on a crumpled flyer on his bedside table. The American University of Paris proudly present an evening with Robert Langdon, professor of religious symbology, Harvard University. Langdon groaned. Tonight's lecture, a slideshow about pagan symbolism hidden in the stones of Chartres Cathedral, had probably ruffled some conservative feathers in the audience. Most likely some religious scholar had trailed him home to pick a fight. I'm sorry, Langdon said, but I'm very tired and mice, monsieur, the concierge pressed, lowering his voice to an urgent whisper. Our guest is an important man. Langdon had little doubt. His books on religious paintings and cult symbology had made him a reluctant celebrity in the art world. And last year, Langdon's visibility had increased 100-fold after his involvement in a widely published incident at the Vatican. Don't know if you pronounce it like that, but I'm not doing now. Since then, the stream of self-important historians and the art buffs arriving at the store had seemed never-ending. If you would be so kind, Langdon said, doing his best to remain polite, could you take the man's name and number and tell him I'll try to call him before I leave Paris on Tuesday? Thank you. He hung up before the conjurer could protest. Sitting up now, Langdon frowned at his bedside. It's really not my day today. I'm having a stroke over here. Sitting up now, Langdon frowned at his bedside guest relationship handbook, whose cover boasted, "Sleep like a baby in the city of lights. Slumber at the Paris Ritz." He turned and gazed tiredly into the full-length mirror across the room. The man staring back at him was a stranger, too tousled and weary. You need a vacation, Robert. The past year had taken a heavy toll, but he didn't appreciate seeing the proof in the mirror. His usually sharp blue eyes looked hazy and drawn tonight. A dark stubble was shrouding his strong jaw, and dimpled chin. Around his temples, the gray highlights were advancing, making their way deeper into his thicket of coarse black hair. Of course, I don't know how to pronounce that. Although his female colleagues insisted the grey only accentuated his bookish appeal, Langdon knew better. They're grey silver foxes, like they're silver foxes, I don't know. But yeah, that exists, I guess. Anyway, if the Boston Magazine could see me now, last month, much to Langdon's embarrassment, Boston Magazine had listed him as one of that city's top 10 most intriguing people. Dubious honor that made him the brunt of endless ribbing by his Harvard colleagues. Tonight, 3,000 miles from home, the accolade had resurfaced to haunt him at the lecture he had given. Ladies and gentlemen, the hostess had announced a full house of... Va? Ja, en sekund. 1 second. Hi, I'm sorry. It's pretty much right now. I'll just continue. I'll try to continue, and I'll pray that I am not getting interrupted. Anyway, sitting up now. Anyway, although his female colleagues insisted the grey only accentuated his bookish appeal, Langdon knew better. If Boston Magazine could see me now, last month, much to Langdon's embarrassment, Boston Magazine, tonight, 3,000. Ladies and gentlemen, the hostess had announced to a full house at the American University of Paris Pavilion Dauphine. Our guest tonight needs no introduction. He is the author of numerous books: The Symbology of Secret Sects, The Art of the Illuminati, The Lost Language of the Ideograms. And when I say he wrote the book on religious iconology, I mean that quite literally. Many of you use his textbooks in class. The students in the crowd nodded enthusiastically. I had planned to introduce him tonight by sharing his impressive curriculum vitae. However, she glanced playfully at Langdon, who was seated on stage. An audience member has just handed me a far more, shall we say, intriguing introduction. She held up a copy of the Boston Magazine. Langdon cringed. Where the hell did she get that? The hostess began reading choice experts from the inane article, and Langdon felt himself sinking lower and lower in the chair. 30 seconds later, the crowd was grinning, and the woman showed no signs of letting up. And Miss Langdon's refusal to speak publicly about his unusual role in last year's Latitian conclave certainly wins him points on our intrigometer. The hostess goaded the crowd. Would you like to hear more? The crowd applauded. Somebody stop her, Langdon pleaded as he divided into the article again. Although Professor Langdon might not be considered hunk handsome like some of our younger awardees, this 40-something academic has more than his share of scholarly allure. His captivating presence is punctuated by an unusually low baritone speaking voice, which his female students describe as chocolate for their ears. Oh God. Oh no. No. Oh fuck. The hall erupted in laughter. Langdon forced an awkward smile. He knew what came next. Some ridiculous line about Harrison Ford in Harry's tweed. And because this evening he had figured it was finally safe again to wear his Harry's tweed and Burberry turtleneck, he had decided to take action. Thank you, Monique, Langdon said, standing prematurely and edging her away from the podium. Boston Magazine clearly has a gift for fiction. He turned to the audience with an embarrassed sigh. And if I find which one of you provided that article, I'll have the consulate deport you. The crowd laughed. Well, folks, as you all know, I'm here tonight to talk about the power of symbols. The ringing of Langdon's hotel phone once again broke the silence. Groaning in disbelief, he picked up. Yes. As expected, it was the concierge. Miss Langdon, again, my apologies. I'm calling you to inform that your guest is now en route to your room. I thought I should alert you. You let this random dude get to this book writer's room. Are you okay, man? Dude, are you okay? You should. This is a known person. Like, he has written a lot of books. And you just I don't care that the other dude's like a well-known person. You shouldn't. Not to anybody. No, you're about to lose your job. Langdon was wide awake now. You sent someone to my room. I apologize, monsieur, but a man like doesn't matter. I cannot presume the authority to. Yes, you can. Who exactly is he? But the concierge was God. Somebody's about to lose their job. Almost immediately, a heavy fist pounded on Langdon's door. Not creepy at all. Uncertain, Langdon slid off the bed, feeling his toes sink deep into the Savonier carpet. He donned the hotel bathrobe and moved toward the door. Who is it? Miss Langdon? I need to speak with you. The man's English was accented. A sharp, authoritative bark. My name is Lieutenant Jerome Collett. Direction Central Police Judicare. I'm butchering this shit. Langdon paused. The judicial police? The DCPG was the rough equivalent of the US FBI. Leaving the security chain in place, Langdon opened the door a few inches. The face staring back at him was thin and washed out. The man was exceptionally lean, dressed in an official-looking blue uniform. May I come in? The agent asked. Langdon hesitated, feeling uncertain about the stranger. His shallow eyes. Feeling uncertain as the stranger's shallow eyes studied him. What is this all about? My captain requires your expertise in a private matter. Now? Langdon managed. It's after midnight. Am I correct that you were scheduled to meet with the creator of the Louvre this evening? Langdon felt a sudden urge of uneasiness. He had revered the creator Jacques Sonnier had been slated to meet for drinks at Langdon's lecture tonight. But Sonnier had never shown up. Yes, how did you know that? We found your name in his daily plan. I trust nothing's wrong. The agent gave a dire sigh and slid a Polaroid snapshot through the narrow opening in the door. When Langdon saw the photo, his entire body went rigid. This photo was taken less than an hour ago inside Louvre. As Langdon stared at the bizarre image, his initial revolution and shock he gave way to a sudden upwelling of anger. Who would do this? We had hoped that you might help us answer that. That very question, considering your knowledge in symbology and your plans to meet him. Langdon stared at the picture, his horror now laced with fear. The image was gruesome and profoundly strange, bringing with it an unsettling sense of déjà vu. A little over a year ago, Langdon had received a photograph of a corpse and a similar request for help. 24 hours later, he had almost lost his life inside Vatican City. This photo was entirely different, and yet something about the scenario felt disquietingly familiar. The agent checked his watch. My captain is waiting, sir. Langdon barely heard him. His eyes were still reverted on the picture. This symbol here, and the way his body is so oddly positioned, the agent offered. Langdon nodded, feeling a chill as he looked up. I can't imagine who would do this to someone. The agent looked at him. You don't understand, Miss Langdon. What you see in this photograph. He paused. Monsieur Saunier did that to himself. Chapter 2. 1 mile away, a hulking albino named Silas limped to the front gate of the luxurious residence on Rue La Bruyère. The spiked Sealy's belt that he wore around his thigh cut around his thigh cuts into his flesh, and I'm not getting a sentence out of this, but cuttings. I don't know. And yet his soul sang with the satisfaction of service to the Lord. Pain is good. No, it's not. I can tell. His red eyes scanned the lobby as he entered the residence. Empty. He climbed the stairs quietly, not wanting to awake any of his fellow numeraries. His bedroom door was open. Locks were forbidden here. He entered, closing the door behind him. The room was spartan. Hardwood floor, a pine dresser, a canvas mat in the corner that served as his bed. He was a visitor here this week, and yet for many years he had been blessed with a similar sanctuary in New York City. The Lord has provided me shelter and purpose in my life. Tonight, at last, Silas felt he had begun to repay his debt. Hurrying to the dresser, he found a cell phone hidden in his bottom drawer and placed a call. Yes, a male voice answered. Teacher, I have returned. Speak, the voice commanded, sounding pleased to hear from him. All four are gone. The three seneschals, Tlaylax, and the Grand Master himself. There was a momentary pause, as if for prayer. Then I assume you have the information. All four conquered independently. And you believe them? Their agreement was too great for coincidence. Wait, I'm gonna just check how. Okay, yeah. An excited breath. Excellent. I had feared the Brotherhood's reputation for secrecy might prevail. The prospect of death is strong motivation. So, my pupil, tell me what I must know. Silas knew the information he had gleaned from his victims would come as a shock. Teacher, all four confirmed the existence of the clef de vote, the legendary keystone. He heard a quick intake of breath over the phone and could feel the teacher's excitement. The keystone, exactly as we suspected. According to lore, the Brotherhood had created a map of stone, a clef de vote, or keystone, and engraved tablets that revealed the final resting place of the Brotherhood's greatest secret. Information so powerful that its protection was the reason for the Brotherhood's very existence. When we possess the keystone, the teacher said, we will be only one step away. We are closer than you think. The keystone is here in Paris. Paris? Incredible. It's almost too easy. Silas relayed the earlier events of the evening. How all four of his victims, moments before death, had desperately tried to buy back their godless lives by telling their secret. Each had told Silas the exact same thing, that the keystone was ingeniously hidden at a precise location inside one of Paris' ancient churches. The Eglites, the Saint Sulpice, I don't know. Inside a house of the Lord, the teacher exclaimed. How they mock us. That sounded weird. How they mock us. As they have for centuries. The teacher felt silent, as if letting the triumph of this moment settle over him. Finally he spoke. You have done a great service to God. We have waited centuries for this. You must retrieve the stone to me immediately. You understand the stakes. Silas knew the stakes were incalculable, and yet what the teacher was now commanding seemed impossible. But the church is a fortress, especially at night. How will I enter? With the confident tone of a man of enormous influence, the teacher explained what was to be done. When Silas hung up the phone, his skin tingled with anticipation. 1 hour, he told himself, grateful that the teacher had given him time to carry out the necessary penance before entering a house of God. I must purge my soul of today's sins. The sin committed today had been holy in purpose. Acts of war against the enemies of God had been committed for centuries. Forgiveness was assured. Even so, Silas knew absolution required sacrifice. Pulling his shades, he stripped naked and knelt in the center of his room. Looking down, he examined the spiked Silas belt clamped around his thigh. All the true followers of the way wore this device. A leather strap studded with sharp metal barbs that cut into the flesh as a perpetual reminder of Christ's suffering. The pain caused by the device also helped counteract the desires of the flesh. Although Silas already had worn these seals today longer than the requisite 2 hours, he knew today was no ordinary day. Grasping the buckle, he cinched it 1 notch tighter, winching as the barbs dug deeper into his flesh. Exhaling slowly, he savored the cleansing ritual of his pain. Pain is good. Now, Silas whispered, repeating the sacred mantra of Father. This is a mess. This is a mess. This is a mess. I'm sorry. Anyway, Silas, pain is good, Silas whispered, repeating the sacred mantra of Father Josemaria Escriva, the teacher of all teachers. Although Escriva had died in 1975, his wisdom lived on. His words, still whispered by thousands of faithful servants around the globe, as they knelt to the floor and performed the sacred practice known as corporal mortification. Silas turned his attention now to a heavy knotted rope, coiled neatly to the floor beside him. The discipline. The knots were caked with dried blood. Eager for the purifying effect of his own agony, Silas said a quick prayer. Then, gripping one end of the rope, he closed his eyes and swung it back over his shoulders, feeling the knots slap against his back. He whipped it over his shoulder again, slashing at his flesh. Again and again he lashed. Castigo corpus meum. Finally, he felt the blood begin to flow. Boy, that was something. But yes, I am terribly sorry that this it was so many interruptions. I am sorry. I hope it doesn't get like that next time. And yes, yet again, I probably won't have time to film a video next week. Thank you all so much for coming here and listen to me read this book. And I'll see you in next video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. And I'll see ya.